All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another webinar brought to you by the Montana PBS Education team, currently working out of our homes in the Gallatin Valley. My name is Nikki, and I'm joined here with my colleague, Deanna. This webinar can be found on the slide deck to this webinar. Can be found if you go to this link, bit.ly/mtpbsweb2. All the slides are embedded with links that you may want to refer to later, so I encourage you to pause the video and write that down, and maybe even bring the slide deck up if you need to. As I said before, my name is Nikki, and I'm the Director of Education for Montana PBS. Before I came into this role, I taught in a K-8 rural school just outside of Bozeman. I taught K-1 for most of my time there. And I've been with Montana PBS for just about 3 years now.
And greetings, I'm Deanna Midland. I'm the Early Learning Specialist at Montana PBS. And I come from an education background also, many years in the Billings area, and then 5 years as an international schools teacher.
Great. So today we wanted to give you what we're calling a virtual tour of the resources we have for families and for parents. And the first thing we'd love you to do is connect with us on your chosen social media platform. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And we have an app that you can download either via Google Play or the App Store. We also have a website, MontanaPBS.org, and lots of great information for families and teachers. We have 2 closed Facebook groups, one for teachers and one for parents. You can find our teacher by searching for MTPBS Teachers, and you can find our parent page by searching for MTPBS Parents. We hope that you'll join both of those groups, because it's a great way to stay up to date on all the information we have to share and the opportunities we have for teachers and families to learn together. We want to talk to you about learning at home right now, as all of us are doing, and some of us are doing it while working at home. And so we know that there are educators and families looking for resources. This first section is about some of the resources we have for educators, pre-K through 12. We hope we'll be able to use this information to support your kiddos at home. The first thing I want to talk about is the writing contest. Montana PBS is hosting a writing contest right now. This is the second year we've done this, and we're really excited. Whoops, I was going to go to that link. Is it linked?
Yeah, in the writing contest word.
In the word writing, oh, up here.
Yes.
Awesome. Had to find it. You can find our writing contest page on our Montana PBS website. You'll see it's at montanapbs.org/events/ILPU/writing contest 2020. This has all the details. This is a contest open to kids pre-K through 12. We have questions for different grade bands. So our pre-K to 2 have these 2 questions that they could write a response to. 3 through 5 have these prompts. 6 through 12 have these prompts. To enter the contest, a parent needs to fill out this entry form, and it will prompt you to either upload the writing or upload a photograph of whatever the child creates. For our young ones, we can take pictures. We can take something that was dictated to an adult and scribed for them. We can take drawings, anything that answers these prompts. Our theme is Earth Day and taking care of the earth. This is an engagement activity for a film that will be on air this month called Eating Up Easter, which is a film about the garbage and the waste that is piling up on Easter Island, and that we really want to inspire kids and families to think about making green choices and taking care of our environment. So we hope you'll check out our writing contest, and your students will submit their entries. We'll have fun prizes and lots of recognition, and we really look forward to reading their writing right now. Go back to our slides here. There's some more information. The Independent Lens pop-up film put out by Independent Lens called Eating Up Easter will be on air in the month of April. We're talking about globalization and the threats of climate change on the remote Easter Island. and that provides a wake-up call for the rest of the world, just seeing the images in this film. Very powerful film for our older audiences, but for younger students, we also want to just talk about taking care of the earth and making green choices. The website that we think is the biggest asset we have to share with educators is PBS LearningMedia.org. This is a free website for educators who work with students ages pre-K all the way up to 12th grade. It's a collection of resources that are uploaded by PBS stations all over the country. It has videos and images, lesson plans, interactive lessons, and games for kids to play. When you go to this website, you'll be prompted to sign up for a free account. You can use your Google or your Facebook credentials to sign in. That's not because it costs money. It's so that it will connect you with Montana PBS. And that connection to our station means that when you bring up resources, you'll be able to see how they align to the Montana state standards. Having an account also lets you save resources that you might want to use for later, and puts you on the list to receive emails about up and coming resources that have just been added to the Learning Media website. This is how you would sign in and set up your free account. And then you'd be ready to start planning your lessons. If you're interested in learning more about using Learning Media to implement media in your classroom, please reach out to me or Deanna, and we can give you some great ideas to how to come up with some cool lessons for your students. The other project we have going right now that we're really proud of is called Learn at Home in Montana's Largest Classroom. This is an initiative that every department at our station has collaborated to bring out for students of Montana. We've taken our broadcast schedule on our main channel and revised it so that it features programming geared for pre-K through 8th grade aged students. We did this in collaboration with the Montana Office of Public Instruction, and they have endorsed these programs and given their approval that they are aligned to Montana state standards. So having a student watch 1 or 2 or 3 of these programs as part of their Learn at Home routine helps meet those important learning standards. If you go to our website, you'll see a picture of a PDF that looks like this, and then embedded in each of these boxes are the links to more resources that can be used to support the learning goals of that program. Many teachers are using this as a choice activity for their students. Other teachers are finding that this is the best way to provide the equitable access of media for children who may not have internet or devices in their homes, but do have a television that can tune in to our PBS main channel. The World Channel is also offering a revised set schedule with programming geared to children in grades 6 through 12. Some excellent programs that follow along the government and literature and science field as well. I would encourage you to go to our website and look up distance learning. We have a lot of distance learning resources for teachers. And again, Deanna and I are happy to help you figure out how to incorporate these resources into the home learning plan. Another resource we have for educators is the PBS Teachers Lounge. This is a wonderful blog that is created by the National PBS Education Department, and it features blog posts written for teachers, by teachers from all over the country. Our PBS digital innovators are asked to write blog posts about current trends in education. There are quite a few published right now about the challenges and the hurdles that we face when we are planning distance learning, and some best practices and teaching tips that are really in time with what everyone else is looking for. There's been no better time than to think about media literacy. With so much media coming at us, being on the screen all day long and getting our news from various sources, it's so important for us as educators to be confident in our own skills in media literacy so that we can impart that to the students. There are a couple of resources that another PBS station in San Francisco has made available and allowed us to share with people in our area. KQED Teach is a free professional learning platform for teachers to expand their understanding of creating media and using media in the classroom. And when I say media, I mean things like video projects, infographics, podcasts, all of those really fun hands-on learning experiences that a teacher may want to try, but may not feel comfortable using those things. KQED Teach is a self-paced platform where teachers can learn how to make those things themselves so that they can then have students do that as well. Once you feel strong in your ability to make media, you might consider pursuing PBS Media Literacy Educator certification. This is another self-paced professional learning program that allows teachers to earn 8 micro-credentials using the digital badging system on the Digital Promise website. Once you've earned 8 micro-credentials, you have proven yourself a media literate educator, and you can join the ranks of other educators in the country that have done the same. We currently have 2, almost 3 teachers who are media literacy certified in the state of Montana, and there are 13 across the country. So we hope more teachers will use this time when they're making media and using media to inspire students to also pursue their media literacy certification. And I think it's Deanna's turn to share some resources.
Thanks, Nikki. So all this month and into May, it is Explore the Outdoors. That's why I have my artificial backdoor scenery behind you. Like all of you, exploring the outdoors has changed a little bit with our current times for all of us. And it doesn't mean just staying home, but maybe look at even your own backyard. But we know in our great state of Montana, we can find places where we can properly social distance. And I'd like to talk to you today about some of the great things that PBS offers to help inspire your little one to inquire.
Where do you want me to click? Do you want me to go to the
Just
next
to the
one?
next slide, please, Nikki.
Okay.
So I wanted to start out with that learning's indoors, outdoors, and then some slime. So on the very first, I have PBS Kids Share the Earth, and that is a whole Earth Day choices for parents to go through with your kids, and there's many different links to many different age-appropriate programs and a variety of things. I'd like to, if you don't mind, Nikki, explore the outdoors on the next, right there, please. There's a parent link on this where I love how it breaks down as you scroll down. You can see that it gives you conversations and ideas of how not just to tell your child what they're looking at, but help them actually explore it. And we know that with young ones, learning through play is extremely wonderful, especially in these years when their brains are building. And at like the 3-year-old age, get them out there, let them explore, right? Like again, right out the backyard, out the front window. So this is a great place for you as parents to go and just get some ideas and information. Thanks, Nikki. Can we go back to the other slide? Nature Cat will be highlighted in the month of April, and this Nature Cat is a very fun character and a kind of, would you say, just always inquiring and making mistakes, and that is what learning is for our little bit older kids, that ask those questions, get dirty, try to understand things. These are all sorts of articles and then videos, and it can continue to link you and your family into the different ideas about learning with nature. And as Nikki's scrolling down, you might notice there's hands-on activities. So I also included in the link the making slime and tracking the weather. With kids out of school, younger kids, one thing they're used to is calendar and circle time. And that's a routine and that's a ritual in classrooms. Well, you can do that at home as well at a low push effort. Just have your child look out the window for the next month and track what's going on and see what they observe. There's so much that comes from that. Plus it reinforces some of those routines that they were used to in school. and enjoyed. And Nikki, if you could click on the cooked up some slime that was right next to, thank you. All this takes is water, tapioca flour, and green food coloring. And of course, if you don't have tapioca powder, it's easy. Just grind it up in a food processor or just crush it. Those tapioca pearls that you can buy at the store, it's just the flour. So it makes slime, and that's so much fun. Kids love it. And you can do math through cooking. You can do exploration. You can talk about what do you feel, what do you observe, what do you smell, what do you think is going to happen, why are things changing, and link the states of matter for your child and you. And it's perfectly edible. So can't go wrong with that. Again, green is the favorite food coloring. Just an old hint from an old teacher. Thanks, Nikki. We'll go back to the slides. And then on to the next one, please.
Tracking daily weather, or, oh, the next slide.
Yes, please. So this is just, if sometimes I've heard from some of the groups of parents that I've talked to, they're not necessarily always sure where to start the conversation about science with their kids. I've linked a literacy in science, and this is from one of our what we work with, a program that we work with from Reading Rockets. And it actually breaks down talking to your children about science journaling, about questioning, observations, and it helps you as parents get some starting conversation going. And then if you'll notice, as Nikki's scrolling, there's also PBS science programs that are also linked to your children's ages and that do associate with the science and the learning. So it goes hand in hand, and it's also has some book suggestions, videos. I find it was quite a good resource. Mm-hmm. If we go back, Nikki. Thank you. And I wanted just to put a shout out again for the PBS Daily Kids Daily Newsletter for parents. There is something worth looking at every single day on there. If you just get in there, sign up for it. Today, there was so many different things about math that were linked in there. When I was teaching in the classroom, I would have loved to have some of that information. So I could have made centers so some kids could do one thing, some kids could explore another thing. It's a wonderful resource. Costs you nothing. All you have to do is sign up. And then the last is for the family night, movie night. We are going to be featuring Wild Kratts in April, and that is a all-time favorite. So just remember, don't be hard on yourselves. You got to keep some kind of fun in your life and have a family night where you just relax, take your breaks, but enjoy each other and enjoy the conversations that are flowing from all of these wonderful programming. And then Nikki, if we go to the next slide, please. So this one I wanted to call Kids, Tweens, and In Between. Kids and Teens and In Between. I've lined up here, last time I did not talk about Peep in the Big Wide World. This is a very good early learner program, especially in science and engineering. It has. This one, I think because Explore the Outdoors is our theme, it was just talking about a neighborhood safari, and you go around with the children and you look for shapes, colors, different things like that for very early learners, but then they can explore what they see. And if you'll notice, there's lots and lots and lots of activities that go with this same thinking outdoor. And what little one wouldn't love to do the making hand shadows with you at night and some flashlights? Build a fort, have fun, and it's perfect learning. And everyone can be engaged. So thanks, Nikki. And then I think there's always Daniel the Tiger's Neighborhood, and that has links for some social emotional things and talking about Daniel and his friends. In the Wild Kratts, I've included games, videos, and apps, but also I threw in a picture there that there's a Wild Kratts journal also that you can get if you go to that site, where this is for a little bit of the older kids where they're starting to look at the adaptations of animals outside. Maybe you encourage them to start looking at beaks look for prints in why do paws on one kind of a dog, are they shaped one way and yet maybe something else in another way. It's a great way to walk into that. And then there was a nature cat handout, and that went in the very corner there, and that was just an example of going around and taking a nature rubbing, just a piece of paper and then a crayon over some bark and of the trees, and compare and look at those and make a piece of art out of it. What I'd like to highlight today, though, on the very bottom is outdoor art for older children. Thank you, Nikki. This is for the older kids, and it's an entire program about art. And it has videos to help support your teens learn some different important ways of how art works, and not like it's had lines and shading, but how to do some different things in art, outdoors, indoors. I found it's very interesting. It's inspired me to follow and try to do some of my own. So you might want to join your teen and have a little artist studio. Thanks, Nikki. So just to wind it up, there's the Nature Cat Gets Outdoors. So doing is learning with your younger kids, where they can go and explore and have fun. And then the PBS Design Squad, there is a super fun video about garbage sorter and squirrels and shoes. And kids just take different things and they create something to sort garbage with. That is a perfect activity for Earth Day in your home. It's not that these kids went out and had a bunch of stuff. They used what they had. And that's the idea of Design Squad. Get out there and think and apply and do with what you've got, and you'd be surprised. So thank you for that. And then of course we have the Unplugged Learning on our regular site. And that is if there's those times you and some of your children need to be online and some of yours need to have something to do, grab one of these that's age appropriate for them. Let them just pick and choose what kind of learning they'd like to do for the day.
And not my email. There we go.
Just remember that we're all in this together, and here in Montana's largest classroom of PBS, we're part of your team and you're part of our team, and together we achieve more. That's all for me now.
All right, so thank you. We hope that there was some nugget you took from our resources today that you can use to support learning during this time. Please reach out to me or to Deanna or both of us. Find us on social media. Show us what you've been doing with your kids. Any of the activities that you do, we'd love to hear about it on social media or through email. We just encourage you to stay safe, stay healthy, and let us know how we can help. Best of luck today.
Bye.
Bye. There we go.